Hello people of YouTube. I am both excited and nervous. It is time that I do and put together the TIE Fighter from Metal Earth. I've got many of my usual tools here. I've got the tweezers, which are needed. I've got needle nose pliers, which do come in handy a lot. These came in really handy with the last one I did, the X-Wing, because there were parts that were hard to get into. I also have a couple of dowel rods here for making curves. I don't know that that's going to come in handy in this kit, but I have them anyway. I have some more for backup. So let's drag this aside and let's open this up and get started. And we have our usual instructions and 2 metal plates. You've got your usual setup. Tells you about the different tabs. Some you twist, some you fold. Needle nose pliers are helpful for assembly. I don't think I've noticed that before. You've got your pictures of the 2 different sheets and the numbers so you can find the different parts. And then you have your flow chart over here of assembly that is continued on the back. I'm going to do a little bit like I did before and just try to point out some of the highlights and problems that I have and not try to show you the complete assembly, just because the complete assembly is long. Interesting that they're adding suggestions of things like using a dowel rod to make the curved piece. A little subtle suggestion there. Some of these little curved parts, when it comes to bending the tabs over, I find it is sometimes helpful to just roll it over with a dowel rod or something in there. That tends to roll these tabs over quite nicely, so they're secure and fairly round. Alright. That is extremely difficult to get into, and I'm glad I didn't fold these side pieces up. I'm right here on number 4 or 5 and 6, and you don't want to fold up 5 before you put 6 on. You got 2 pieces. You got piece number 5, and you've got piece number 6. Number 6 you're going to fold in half and almost completely closed, but not quite. Pinched in half. And this has got to go into this, which has to fold up, but I would not recommend folding it up first. I would recommend holding it so that this middle flap is facing up like that, and then this part attaches kind of pointing downward. I'm going to attach it to the front of this so that it's kind of pointing down just a little bit. Hopefully that makes sense. Once you get it in there, I found it's best to take a knife, try and spread the tabs a little bit because my tweezers are not super thin. You want to twist these if you can. Pull these down. It goes on the side of this last piece you put on into these tabs, pointing towards the main body, if you will. So you curve this, roll it around. You don't quite attach it though. Put the 2 guns on. Then you attach these 2, and then apparently you bind it together. I am going to attempt maybe to use a marble. around these pieces. Either side has any decoration on it, so do that. This time I use the end of a toothpick, because the trick is, it really doesn't take much to accidentally pinch this shut, and that causes problems. So got it in there. I have to twist it. There we go, there's one. Here we go. So I've got the guns in there. One. Yeah. Ah.
It takes time to bend and adjust many of the pieces and parts so that they will fit together. I edit a lot of that out of my videos, mainly so they won't end up being 2 hours long. As you can see here, I spend a lot of time bending, twisting, adjusting, and sometimes dropping parts. So be patient and give yourself plenty of time. It's not going to come together quickly.
Here's some situations where the marbles are coming in quite handy. I use the marble to, I press this down onto it to give it that kind of curved shape that it needs. And I've got to do the same with this. Although I could probably use a smaller marble. At least I can get a head start in shaping it right. I've got piece 14, which is a little piece inside, and 15, which is a larger, and they go into each other in a funny way. One cups up like that and one cups down over top of it. And I found after quite a bit of struggle, the tabs on 14, if you bend one of them out, hook it in there and then swing it up and then get the other tab in, that helped me a lot. This part is rather interesting because there are actual numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, stamped onto these parts, and then the pieces that go on there also have corresponding numbers. 1, 5, 5. So you almost don't need the directions at this point to match them up. That's kind of neat. Depending on which way you decide for the flow chart depends on which way you're going to do this. But I would start putting these pieces on with the smaller number. You'll notice they have numbers. They match up. Start with 1, 2, 3, and 4 before flipping over and going with the higher numbers like 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, excuse me. Because these are slightly wider. If you start with the bigger ones, the smaller pieces are going to cover up them pins and make it harder to do. At least that's been my experience thus far. Getting all of these little pieces attached to these things is quite tedious. And you may have to take a few breaks in between, but I finally got it. About ready to give up at this point. When I attached these side pieces, you've got this ring of tabs here that you're supposed to bend, and I bent them outward. I didn't think about it, but there's a ring right outside of that ring that this cap here, this cap right here, you fold the tabs down and it's supposed to fit into a ring just outside of the ring that attaches it to the post and the body. And because I bent the tabs outward, it covered up that other ring of tabs. So that, and the notion that this one side is coming loose, unfortunately, because I guess I didn't secure it well enough inside. I was about to just say screw it, I'm done. But I did carefully go and pry the tabs up and bend them inward, so I'm going to give it a shot. And as far as fixing this loose thing, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might try some glue. I may just not put it on a stand and set it up like it is, because on a stand it may sag. I'm pretty much finished. If you notice, there's a bit of a sag on one side. Unfortunately, I guess I didn't secure this part as well as I should have. And so it's kind of, that arm is, luckily hasn't broken completely off. But I think because of what it's doing, instead of putting the stand on, I'm going to just set it on the table on its little wings and try to get that straight so it doesn't look so bad. And hopefully this video will help out anybody else who's got one of these kits. They can be rather challenging. They make it seem easy in the I don't want to say the advertisements, but when you see it on a website, it seems, oh, all you need is a pair of tweezers, you can do this by hand. Yeah, it really helps to have some other tools as well. Don't be too afraid of it. Be careful with it, pay attention, and do your best, and try to learn from some of my mistakes. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I do have some more kits I want to work on. I have the Star Trek kits. I haven't started on those, so keep an eye out for those. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.